Beneath the surface of every heart lies a storm, a tempest of desires that pull us toward fleeting pleasures, of fears that chain us, of anger that blinds us. Picture a woman standing alone in the dark, her soul trembling under the weight of these forces. Her name is Livia, and her hidden desire is not for wealth or fame, but for something far greater, mastery over the chaos within. We know this storm. We've felt its winds tear at our resolve. But what if we could stand unshaken? What if we could forge a will so resolute that no emotion could break it? This is the Stoic path, the ancient philosophy that calls us to rise above our destructive impulses and claim the strength that lies within. Let us walk with Livia through her trials and triumphs and uncover the hidden desires that bind us all. The Stoics, philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, understood this battle intimately. They saw life as a forge, where the soul is shaped by the choices we make. You have power over your mind, not outside events, Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations. Realize this, and you will find strength. These words, penned by an emperor who faced war, betrayal, and plague, are a beacon for us. They remind us that the chaos of the world, its injustices, its losses, its temptations, holds no sway over a mind disciplined by virtue. Livia, our guide, is no empress, but her struggles are no less profound. She wakes each day to a world that demands her surrender, to anger, to envy, to despair. Yet she has glimpsed the Stoic way, and it has kindled a fire within her, a longing to transcend the storm. Livia's journey begins in the quiet of her morning. She sits, journal in hand, practicing the Stoic exercise of Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. She imagines the day's challenges, a colleague's slight, a plan gone awry, a wave of self-doubt. Seneca's words echo in her mind. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. By preparing for adversity, Livia arms herself against it. She knows that her emotions are not the enemy, but her judgments of them are. This is the Stoic insight. Our suffering stems not from events, but from the stories we tell ourselves about them. When we learn to rewrite these stories, we reclaim our power. We stand at the same threshold. How often do we let destructive emotions, anger at a careless word, envy of another's success, fear of failure, dictate our days? The Stoics offer us a different path. Epictetus, a former slave who found freedom in philosophy, taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." His words challenge us to see true freedom not as the absence of obstacles, but as the presence of self-control. This is the Greek concept of enkratia, the mastery of desires that allows us to act with purpose rather than impulse. Livia embraces this practice, but it is not without effort. Her heart still races when a coworker takes credit for her work. Her fists clench when a friend betrays her trust. Yet she pauses, she breathes, she asks herself, "What can I control?" And in that question, she finds her strength. One evening, Livia faces a trial that tests her resolve. A heated argument with a loved one leaves her trembling, her anger a wildfire threatening to consume her. She feels the urge to lash out, to wound as she has been wounded, but she recalls Seneca's wisdom. There is no need to get angry with someone who wrongs you. It is like being angry with a fig tree for producing figs. She steps back, not to suppress her anger, but to examine it. She sees it as a signal, not a command. Through the Stoic practice of logos, the use of reason, she reframes the moment. Her loved one's words were not an attack on her worth, but a reflection of their own struggles. Her anger begins to fade, replaced by a quiet resolve to respond with compassion. In this moment, Livia is not a victim of her emotions. She is their sovereign. We too can claim this sovereignty. The Stoics teach us that emotions are not to be banished, but to be understood. Modern Stoic scholar Massimo Pigliucci writes in How to be a Stoic, "The Stoic does not seek to eliminate emotions, but to transform them through rational judgment." When we feel the sting of rejection, we can pause and ask, is this event truly harmful, or is it my perception of it? When envy grips us, we can shift our focus to what lies within our control, our efforts, our virtues. This is the Stoic practice of dichotomy of control, the art of distinguishing between what we can change and what we must accept. Epictetus reminds us, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. By letting go of the uncontrollable, we free ourselves to live with purpose. Livia's path deepens as she embraces Amor Fati, the love of fate. Marcus Aurelius urged us to accept each moment as it comes, to say, "This is what I was made for." When Livia faces a setback, a project fails, a dream slips away, she does not rail against fate. Instead, she asks, "How can I grow from this?" She sees each challenge as a teacher, each loss as a lesson in resilience. This is not blind optimism, but active courage. As William B. Irvine notes in A Guide to the Good Life, by practicing Stoicism, we cultivate an inner tranquility that external events cannot disrupt. Livia's tranquility grows, not because her life is free of pain, but because she has learned to meet pain with fortitude. Yet Livia is human, and her journey is not without shadows. One night she scrolls through a digital sea of curated lives, others' successes, their joys, their seemingly perfect worlds. Envy creeps in, a thief stealing her peace. Her heart aches for what she lacks: recognition, wealth, ease. But she turns to Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. She closes her screen and reflects on her virtues, her kindness, her perseverance, her integrity. These, she realizes, are her true wealth. In this moment, she embodies the Stoic concept of eudaimonia, the flourishing life that comes from living in accordance with virtue. Her hidden desire is not for what others have, but for what she can become. We share Livia's longing. How often do we chase desires that leave us hollow? How often do we let fear or anger steal our joy? The Stoics teach us to see these emotions as judgments we can reshape. When we face betrayal, we can echo Seneca. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Yet instead of weeping, we can choose to act with wisdom, courage, and justice, the pillars of a Stoic life. Pierre Hadot, in Philosophy as a Way of Life, writes, "The Stoic sage is someone who transforms necessity into freedom through the practice of virtue." This transformation is our calling, the path to a life unswayed by storms. As Livia's journey unfolds, she discovers the Stoic ideal of katorthemata, the perfect actions that align with virtue. She acts not for praise or reward, but because it is right. She listens to a grieving friend, not for gratitude, but because compassion is her duty. She speaks truth in a meeting, not for acclaim, but because honesty is her guide. These acts, small and unseen, are her triumphs. They are the moments when her hidden desire for a life of meaning, for mastery over her soul, shines brightest. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Livia lives this truth, and in doing so, she becomes a light in the dark. We are called to be such lights. The Stoic path is not easy. It demands discipline, reflection, and relentless commitment. But with each step, we grow stronger. With each choice, we draw closer to the freedom that lies within. The storms of life will not cease, but we can become unshakable. We can train our minds to see challenges as opportunities, to meet pain with resilience, to let go of desires that destroy us. The Stoics remind us that this is not a path for the faint of heart, but for those who dare to strive for greatness, not in the eyes of the world, but in the quiet of their souls. Let us rise like Livia to meet the chaos within. Let us embrace the Stoic way, not as a distant ideal, but as a living practice. Let us forge self-control, cultivate fortitude, and overcome the destructive emotions that seek to bind us. The woman's hidden desire, the hunger for mastery, for virtue, for a life unbowed by storms, is our desire too. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Let us be the ones who choose strength. Let us be the ones who live with purpose. The storm rages, but we are ready. The path is ours. The time is now."